After getting engaged, I only found out that Song Jingyan had an extremely versatile female secretary in Zin. No matter the size of the dinner party or banquet, Song Jingyan always took her with him, saying he didn't want me to be too tired. But at the banquet, when everyone praised them as a perfect match, Song Jingyan just smiled and said nothing. I stood in the corner in plain clothes, holding a thermos bucket, feeling like an outsider who had strayed into a palace. At alas, what to do? That day was the banquet for the launch of Song Jingyan's company's new product, which invited many industry dignitaries. And Zin was wearing a high-minus-end custom dress. Holding Song Jingyan's arm generously, the two stood together harmoniously, and the surrounding praise was endless. Someone said Song Jingyan was lucky to have a virtuous helper like Zin, and others teased them to get married soon. Song Jingyan still smiled gently, as if he had completely forgotten that it was me who held hands with him to get engaged 2 months ago. I hurried over, didn't have time to put on makeup, and my plain clothes were out of place with the glamorous crowd at the banquet. The engagement ring on my hand was exactly the same as the diamond ring on an XIN's hand, which was particularly dazzling. 2 ladies passing by chatted, saying that Mr. Song personally accompanied his fiancé to choose the dress. I looked down at my phone and realized that what Song Jingyan called working overtime was actually accompanying Jin to pick out clothes. I remembered going to take wedding photos alone, leaving awkwardly under the clerk surging, and the grievance of not being able to contact him surged in my heart in an instant. When I got home, my mother scolded me harshly, saying it was not easy to climb up to the Song family, and told me to coax Song Jingyan well. I stood silently with my head down. In fact, I was also confused why Song Jingyan chose me among many blind dates with wealthy families. He once told me in a French restaurant that the first time he saw me pricking my hand with an embroidery needle, the way I bowed my head to suck the blood made him feel distressed. That sentence once made my cheeks turn red, and also made me willing to restrain my temper and learn to please him. Song Jingyan used to be very kind to me, knowing I was cold-blooded. He would let the driver prepare hand warmers in the car, knowing I liked embroidery. He gave me a villa by the river, filled with my favorite embroidery works. He would accompany me back to the Lin family every month, even canceling the most urgent meetings, and put my favorite mushrooms and tofu in my bowl at the dinner table. I still remember those sweet moments, but now I think about it, it was just his momentary interest. I once implicitly proposed to accompany him to the banquet, but he put his arm around me and said gently that he didn't want me to be too tired. Until that day, someone from the banquet came out to pass a message, saying Anzin thought I was not suitable to enter. I finally understood that it was not that he cared about me, but that I was not presentable. Looking at the disdainful eyes of the people around me, I smiled mockingly, turned around into the thermos bucket into the trash can, along with this one minus your relationship. I leaned against the wall and cried silently. Suddenly, a lazy and unruly voice came from behind. If a man is not good, he should be replaced. How about you look at me? I turned around with red and swollen eyes, and it was Liang, Song Jingyan's nephew. He leaned against the wall with his arms crossed, looking at me with a playful smile in his peach eyes, and his tone was teasing, but there was an imperceptible distress hidden. I recognized him. He was my little follower in the 3rd year of junior high school. At that time, there were hooligans robbing at the school gate in the town. It was Liang who stepped forward to protect me. Since then, I always followed him intentionally or unintentionally, but near the college entrance examination, he left in a hurry, and I was also taken back to the Lin family, and the two lost contact, unexpectedly. We would meet again here. Busy. I got into Yang Yi's car. The neon lights outside the window were flashing. I thought of the embroidery works looked down upon by the Lin family and Song Jingyan's neglect, and couldn't help reddening my eyes. Liang Yize silently covered my head with his coat and said softly, "Don't hold back." I can't see. At that moment, the tears that had been suppressed for a long time finally gushed out. For so many years, someone finally understood my stubbornness of not wanting to cry in front of others. When I got off the car, I thanked him repeatedly, but he just waved his hand and his figure disappeared into the dark. Back at the villa Song Jingyan gave me, I packed my things, only the flower shay, embroidery frame and thread wax, which could be packed in one box. I didn't take any of the bags and jewelry Song Jingyan gave me, only took the 2 shirts I gave him with red palms embroidered by me on the collars, implying that he would achieve great things, but he never wore them. I put the key and engagement ring on the table and turned back to the small house I bought with the savings from my studio. He called Song Jingyan and calmly proposed to break up. Anzin is more suitable for the position of Mrs. Song than me. All the things you gave me are in the villa. Let's part on good terms. Song Jingyan on the other end of the phone was stunned for a moment, then laughed angrily, thinking I was throwing a tantrum and didn't take it seriously at all. At this time, Liang Yiz broke into Song Jingyan's room, saw Anzin half-minus dressed, flew into a rage, and warned Song Jingyan not to go too far. Soon after, I received an invitation to the Lost Intangible Cultural Heritage Embroidery Competition, which was recognition of my embroidery skills. I devoted myself wholeheartedly to the preparation and often stayed up late to make works. One day Liang Yiz suddenly appeared at my door, excusing that his coat was dirty to find me, but in fact he was worried about me. Looking at my tired appearance, he forced me to eat and sleep on time, and later simply moved into my house, working while taking care of me. I once euphemistically asked him to leave, but he refused to leave, and always teased me. Until one day, he found that I was secretly staying up late to embroider works, and was both angry and helpless, but still accompanied me silently. During the getting along, I gradually remembered the heartbeat of my youth and the way I copied his back under the setting sun. Finally, on a hot night, Liang Yiz confessed to me. Lindsay Hiu, are you willing to let me be your boyfriend? Looking at his fiery eyes, I nodded. My mother suddenly called and asked me to go back to the Lin family, saying Song Jingyan was waiting for me. I knew I couldn't avoid it, sent a message to Liang Yiz, and went to the Lin family alone. Song Jingyan was already waiting on the sofa. He said Anzin had left and wanted to prepare for our wedding, but I firmly told him that I would not marry him, that I had paid off all the expenses of the Lin family and owed them nothing, nor him. Song Jingyan was in a hurry and reached out to grab my wrist. At that moment, Liang Yiz rushed in, protected me in his arms, and warned Song Jingyan with cold eyes. Seeing this, Song Jingyan mocked me for climbing up to a higher branch. Liang Yiz couldn't bear it anymore and punched him. In the chaos, I stood in front of Song Jingyan and called an ambulance. I didn't want Liang Yiz to get into trouble, nor did I want Song Jingyan to get hurt. After all, he had given me warmth when I was excluded by the Lin family. Later, I found out that the rumors about Liang Yiz in junior high school were all false. Back then, a girl confessed to him and was rejected, then jumped off the building and died. Everyone put the blame on him. He couldn't stand the rumors, so he transferred to the town to recover from illness. The candy and handkerchief I gave him back then became the light in his dark days. He had always had a crush on me. In his 3rd year of high school, he originally wanted to apply for the same university as me, but had to leave in a hurry because his mother was ill. When he came back, I was already engaged to Song Jingyan, and he could only guard silently. Song Jingyan was seriously injured. During the blood transfusion, the Song family found that his blood type was raw. A DNA test proved that he was not the biological son of old Master Song. Overnight, he went from the president of the Song group to a despised bastard and became completely decadent. On the day he was discharged from the hospital, I went to see him. He asked me why I saved him. I told him that I didn't want Liang Yiz to get into trouble, and I was grateful for his help once. He cried and apologized to me, saying he loved me very much. I just said calmly, take care. Song Jingyan, my double-sided embroidery mountains and rivers, won the first prize in the competition. On the day I got the trophy, I went back to the town and placed the trophy in front of my grandmother's grave. telling her that I was doing well, just as she expected. 2 months later, Liang Yi took me to meet his parents. I was anxious, afraid they would care about my family background, but his parents were very kind. Mother Liang told me that Liang Yi had mentioned me a long time ago, and he had never forgotten me all these years. After dinner, we walked hand in hand on the ginkgo leaf path. I asked Liang Yi when he started to like me. He smiled and said that the story was long, and we had a lifetime to tell it slowly. The sun shone on us through the ginkgo leaves, warm and bright. The grievances of being ignored and the pain of being betrayed were slowly healed in Liang Yi's tenderness. I finally understood that the best love is never unrequited flattery, but someone who understands you, protects you, and accompanies you through the long years.